Hollywood's most respected gospel family is facing a scandal no one saw coming. David Mann Jr. has just been arrested, but the real story behind it will shock you even more. A family once known for faith, honesty, and integrity is now at the center of a massive controversy. David Mann Jr. facing theft charges? But trust me, the truth goes way deeper than the headlines. Some say it's a setup. Others call it betrayal. But what's the real story? David Mann Jr.'s arrest isn't just about one man. It's shaking the entire gospel world, and you need to hear why. Hollywood's gospel world has just been shaken. David Mann Jr., known to many from Tyler Perry's productions and the beloved Mann family legacy, has been arrested on theft charges. The news has lit up social media, leaving fans stunned and eager to know what really happened behind the scenes. At first glance, the story seems almost unbelievable. A man who grew up in the spotlight of faith and family entertainment now facing accusations of financial misconduct? The shockwaves have hit not only his supporters, but also the broader gospel and entertainment communities. The arrest and allegations. Authorities confirmed that David Mann Jr.'s arrest was not a sudden or random event. Instead, it was the result of months of investigation, the kind of careful digging that signals how serious the allegations may be. While the exact details remain sealed from public view, reports suggest that the case involves large sums of money, enough to capture national attention and spark fierce conversations across the entertainment world. The news spread instantly. Within minutes of the announcement, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were filled with posts, hashtags, and reactions that ranged from heartbreak to outrage. Fans who had grown up watching David Jr. alongside his parents, David Sr. and Tamala Mann, were stunned. For many, it was almost impossible to reconcile the allegations with the man they had admired for years on stage and screen. The public shock. The Mann family isn't just another celebrity clan. They've spent decades cultivating an image rooted in faith, family values, and authenticity. They have long been seen as one of Hollywood's rare examples of fame without scandal. That's what makes this moment feel so shocking. People who trusted David Jr.'s image of integrity now find themselves questioning whether they ever truly knew him at all. The reactions online have been intense. Supporters flooded his social media accounts with prayers, encouragement, and reminders that allegations are not convictions. To them, this was an attack on a man of character, a misunderstanding that would eventually be cleared. Others, however, were far less forgiving. Critics expressed disappointment, even betrayal. For them, theft charges, especially involving large amounts of money, were too serious to dismiss. Some argued that fame and influence should never shield anyone from accountability. Social media as a battleground. Social media quickly became a battleground, with fans and skeptics clashing in comment sections and live streams. Every new rumor was dissected, every whisper magnified. Videos went viral comparing David Jr.'s public image to the weight of the allegations. Memes surfaced, some sympathetic, others mocking. The court of public opinion had opened, and it was just as relentless as any courtroom trial. What makes this even more complex is how deeply the Mann family is tied to gospel entertainment and Tyler Perry's productions. Their image has always been more than personal. It's been part of a broader cultural brand. Suddenly, that brand was under scrutiny. Ripple effects beyond David Jr. The arrest doesn't just impact David Jr.'s personal reputation. It casts a shadow on the entire Mann family. Tamala Mann, celebrated worldwide for her powerful gospel music and spiritual inspiration, found herself pulled into conversations she never asked to be part of. Supporters rallied around her, emphasizing that she should not bear the burden of her son's alleged mistakes. Yet critics argued that the family's public image is collective, and what touches one member inevitably affects them all. David Sr., beloved for his comedic roles and steady presence in Tyler Perry's productions, also faces uncomfortable questions. How does a family that has always presented itself as united and grounded in faith handle a public scandal of this size? Are there cracks in the foundation fans never saw before? And then there's Tyler Perry himself. Although he has no direct connection to the allegations, his name quickly became tied to the story because of his long creative partnership with the Manns. Some wondered whether Perry would defend David Jr. publicly, distance himself to protect his projects, or remain silent until the dust settled. Each option carries risks. Support could be seen as minimizing the charges, distance could feel like abandonment, and silence only fuels speculation. Possible legal outcomes. Legal experts following the case say there are several paths forward. If prosecutors cannot present enough evidence, the case could be dismissed. That would be the best-case scenario for David Jr., but even then, the stigma of having been arrested may linger in the public's memory. Another possibility is a settlement or plea deal. Because the allegations involve money, it's possible that agreements could be reached behind closed doors. This might help David avoid harsher penalties, but it could also require him to admit to certain actions. For someone whose career depends heavily on integrity, even a small admission could cause lasting reputational harm. The most severe scenario is conviction. If the court finds the allegations of theft proven beyond doubt, David Jr. could face serious consequences, fines, probation, or even jail time. Such an outcome would not only reshape his career, but could also alter the legacy of the entire Mann family, who have long been celebrated as models of faith and perseverance. The silence and the suspense. One of the most noticeable aspects of this unfolding story is the family's silence. No press conferences, no detailed statements, no interviews. For some, this silence signals wisdom, waiting for facts before speaking. For others, it looks like avoidance, raising suspicions that there's more to the story than what's been shared publicly. Meanwhile, so-called insider posts continue to circulate online. Some claim David Jr. was set up, while others suggest the allegations have been exaggerated. Whether true or not, these rumors add another layer of mystery and keep audiences glued to every new update. A legacy at a crossroads. This scandal has become more than a legal matter. It's a turning point that could redefine how the world views David Mann Jr. and the family that has stood beside him for so long. Their next moves, whether in court, in public statements, or in how they choose to rebuild, will determine if this becomes a permanent stain or a story of redemption. Controversies like this don't always destroy legacies. Sometimes, they create opportunities for growth. If the Manns choose to confront the situation openly and with honesty, they may find that their vulnerability resonates even more deeply with audiences than perfection ever did. But for now, the questions remain. Will David Jr. clear his name? Will the Mann family weather the storm and emerge stronger? Or is there a twist still hidden, waiting to turn the story on its head? Only time and the courtroom will tell. For years, the Mann family has been admired as a model of faith, trust, and integrity in an industry often filled with controversy. That's why these allegations cut so deeply, because they challenge the very image the family has built. The bigger picture. While the headlines focus on theft, insiders hint that the story might be more complicated. Some say behind-the-scenes conflicts, whether financial disagreements, professional rivalries, or personal disputes, may have played a role. Others suggest multiple people could be involved, though nothing has been officially confirmed. Legal experts remind the public that accusations are not proof. David Jr. is reportedly cooperating with investigators as they dig through financial records, communications, and testimonies. Still, the lack of clear information has left room for speculation, which only fuels the online storm. Why it matters. David Jr.'s career has been built on laughter, relatability, and his family's legacy of faith. He became a familiar face in Tyler Perry's productions, admired for his humor and authenticity. For many fans, he wasn't just another actor, he was a symbol of positivity. That's why the allegations sting so strongly. The ripple effects could go beyond his personal career. Industry insiders whisper that ongoing projects, endorsements, and collaborations connected to the Mann family might also feel the impact. For a family so closely tied to ideas of unity and trust, the reputational risk is enormous. What comes next? Right now, the public only has fragments of the full story. Were the allegations tied to personal business, family finances, or larger industry disputes? Could rivalries or misunderstandings have fueled the fire? Until official documents and statements are released, the answers remain unclear. But one thing is certain, this isn't just about one man's arrest. It's about how quickly public trust can unravel when someone with a spotless reputation faces serious accusations. Fans are left asking hard questions, not only about David Mann Jr., but about the pressures and conflicts hidden within even the most admired families in entertainment. When the news of David Mann Jr.'s arrest broke, the internet exploded. Within minutes, hashtags tied to his name, the Mann family, and even Tyler Perry were trending across Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The reaction was fast, emotional, and divided, proof of how deeply connected people feel to the Mann family's legacy. The court of public opinion. Fans were torn. Some rushed to defend David Jr., insisting that decades of trust and faith can't be erased by one accusation. They reminded the world that allegations are not convictions and sent him messages of prayer and encouragement. On the other side, critics voiced disappointment and anger, saying they felt let down by someone they admired. To them, theft charges were too serious to ignore, and fame shouldn't shield anyone from accountability. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Supporters and skeptics clashed over what the arrest really meant, showing just how personal this story feels to so many people. Voices from the community. The conversation didn't stop with fans. Pastors, entertainers, and industry insiders also weighed in. Some called for grace, patience, and prayer, while others warned that scandals like this don't just affect one person, they threaten the credibility of the gospel and faith-based entertainment industry as a whole. Tyler Perry's name kept surfacing in the debates, even though he has no direct role in the allegations. Because his productions have long featured the Mann family, people began wondering whether this controversy might spill over into his projects. Would Perry defend David Jr., step back, or remain silent? Tamela Mann, a Grammy-winning gospel powerhouse, found herself caught in the middle of the storm. Fans worried about how the controversy might affect her personally and professionally, even though she had nothing to do with the allegations. Supporters rallied around her, reminding others that a parent shouldn't be punished for a child's choices. Still, critics argued that the Mann family is seen as a unit, and what affects one inevitably touches them all. Social media's power. In today's digital age, scandals spread at lightning speed. Memes, videos, and reaction posts were shared millions of times. Some were heartfelt, others mocking. A single post could shape how thousands of people saw the situation, often before all the facts were clear. Adding more fuel to the fire, a handful of insider posts began circulating. They hinted that the case might be more complicated than it seems, with whispers of a possible setup or exaggerated claims. Whether true or not, those suggestions only deepened the mystery and left fans wondering if the story is about more than just money. Ripples beyond one man. This isn't just David Jr.'s battle, it's a test for the entire Mann family brand. For years, they've been celebrated as symbols of faith, unity, and integrity in gospel entertainment. Now, that image is under scrutiny. Tamela's reputation as a voice of faith and inspiration could be overshadowed. David Sr., known for his humor and steady presence, also faces questions. Are there hidden cracks behind the family's polished public image? Did fame and financial pressure quietly strain their relationships long before the scandal broke? And then there's Tyler Perry. His association with the Manns puts him in a delicate position. If he supports David Jr., critics may accuse him of minimizing the charges. If he distances himself, fans might see it as disloyalty. Silence, meanwhile, only leaves more room for speculation. The long road ahead. In entertainment, perception can matter as much as facts. Even if David Jr. is cleared legally, the shadow of these allegations could follow him. Endorsements may hesitate. Projects could stall. Collaborators may pull back. Rebuilding trust takes years, and scars from public scandals rarely fade completely. For the Mann family, the challenge goes deeper. Their legacy of faith and family values is on the line. While it's possible to recover, many public figures have done so, their image may never return to its unshaken state. From now on, fans may look at them with a hint of doubt, always wondering if the perfection they admired hides unseen struggles. And that's the twist. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a turning point that could redefine how the world sees David Mann Jr. and his family for years to come. Scandals don't always mark the end of a story. Sometimes, they open the door to transformation. If the Mann family chooses to face this storm head-on, acknowledging the pain, addressing the questions, and slowly rebuilding trust, they might not only survive, but also emerge stronger. Some insiders even believe this could be an opportunity to reshape their brand, showing honesty and resilience in a way that connects with audiences on a deeper level. Media and viral news. Even a dismissed case does not fully erase the stigma. Fans and critics alike may continue to associate his name with controversy, regardless of the legal outcome. History has shown that celebrities can carry the weight of allegations for years, and rebuilding trust requires time, transparency, and consistent effort. The second potential outcome is a settlement or plea deal. Because the allegations involve financial matters, it is not uncommon for such cases to be resolved outside of a courtroom. Lawyers may negotiate behind closed doors, working toward a compromise that avoids a lengthy trial. This resolution could mean lighter consequences, such as probation, fines, or restitution, rather than harsher punishments. Yet, this path comes with its own risks. Entering into a plea deal may require David to acknowledge some degree of responsibility, even if only partially. For someone whose public image is built on faith, honesty, and moral integrity, even the slightest admission could feel damaging. A plea deal might protect him legally but harm him reputationally, raising questions about whether his persona has truly matched his actions. The third and most severe outcome is conviction. If prosecutors are able to present convincing evidence and prove the allegations beyond reasonable doubt, David could face significant consequences. Depending on the severity of the theft charges, this could include hefty fines, probation, or even jail time. Beyond the legal repercussions, a conviction would almost certainly redefine his career. The Mann family's legacy, carefully nurtured over decades of gospel music, acting, and faith-driven projects, would be under unprecedented strain. Supporters may struggle to reconcile their admiration with the reality of a conviction, while critics would use it as proof that fame and faith cannot shield anyone from accountability. Each of these outcomes carries weight not only for David Mann Jr., but also for the broader Mann family and their public image. Dismissal would bring relief, but not erase suspicion. A settlement might provide closure, but leave lingering doubts. A conviction, meanwhile, would represent a devastating blow that could reshape how the entire family is viewed in the entertainment world. Ultimately, the legal system will decide David's immediate future, but the court of public opinion may prove even more relentless. In today's digital age, reputations rise and fall as quickly as headlines trend. Whether David emerges from this storm with his integrity intact or with permanent scars depends on the evidence presented, the choices made in negotiations, and how both he and his family choose to respond in the days ahead. The third and most severe is conviction. If prosecutors prove the allegations beyond doubt, David could face fines, probation, or even jail time, depending on the charges. Such an outcome would not only disrupt his personal life, but could also alter the legacy of the entire Mann family, a family long celebrated in gospel entertainment. The power of public opinion. Legal experts also point out that public figures often endure harsher judgment outside the courtroom than within it. A trial could turn into a media spectacle, with every financial detail and personal decision dissected by headlines and commentary. In some ways, the process itself, dragging private matters into the open, may be more damaging than the verdict. Observers believe this case could pull back the curtain on much more than theft allegations. Fame, money, and family ties are often tangled in ways the public rarely sees. If those dynamics come to light in court, they could completely change how fans view David Mann Jr., the Mann family, and even Tyler Perry's circle of productions. Silence and suspense. So far, the Mann family has remained unusually quiet. No press conferences, no lengthy statements, no tell-all interviews. Some interpret this as a careful strategy, wait for the facts before speaking. Others see it as avoidance, fueling speculation that there's more to the story than what has been revealed. Whatever the truth, their eventual response will be a turning point. Every word they say, or don't say, will shape how the story unfolds. Meanwhile, fans remain glued to every update. Each headline sparks new debates. Every whisper from insiders spreads like wildfire online. The world is left wondering, will David Mann Jr. clear his name and reclaim his reputation? Will this become the greatest test the Mann family has ever faced? Or is there still a twist coming, something even more shocking than what's already been revealed?